Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be talking about the Jonathan Allen injury. He's out for the year, but I don't think it is the end of the world for the Washington Commanders. We'll be talking about some rookies and some other players that need to step up in his absence. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well. We're very close to 14,000 subscribers. It's free. Less than 40% of you guys are subscribed, so just go ahead and do it. It means a ton. Voice is a little bit off, still a little bit under the weather, so it is what it is. So not necessarily, expecting this news, but Jonathan Allen suffered a, pec injury, a, pec tear, and is going to require season-ending injury. And it does suck. First off, praying for him. Hopefully he's, obviously he's in pain, but hopefully it's a smooth recovery. He's good and everything. I know he's about to have a kid, so obviously he wants to be out there, but he'll be able to spend more time with his kid and everything. But it does suck for him and the team because that is one of their highest paid players on defense, and that's a starter. So definitely a blow to the defense. But the Washington Commanders drafted Jon Newton in the second round, and so far he hasn't been that good. But he hasn't been getting a ton of playing time. So maybe with an increased playing time load, he'll start to produce more, and the more reps he gets, the better he'll play. Pedro Mathis, he hasn't been a beast. He hasn't been worth a second-round pick where they drafted him a few years ago, but I think he has been solid for the Washington Commanders the last few weeks, has been making more plays than he had in the past, so, definitely, something to watch out for. So this is official from Kine. He says, Jon Allen tore his left pec and is done for the year. There was optimism last night that it wasn't bad. Got an MRI today and showed the worst possible outcome for Jon Allen. Again, everything I said before applies. Hopefully he's good and it isn't a, too bad of a recovery. He should be fully good to go by the offseason or early part in the offseason. But what I said in the comments was sucks for him, but him and Payne haven't performed. Let's see what Newton and Mathis do, hoping for a smooth recovery. And that's the reality of the situation. Jonathan Allen has not been good for the Washington Commanders. I'll pull up, and it's just PFF, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But he has not had a good year for the Commanders. He really hasn't. And, has he been awful? No. But is he worth the $20-ish million they're paying him a year? Absolutely not. And it's not just him. Daron Payne also not playing that well for the Commanders. So you look at him overall on the season, he has a 53.5 PFF grade. That's just not good. There's no way to put it. He's just not been good this year for the Commanders. 118th out of 190. I believe that's interior defensive lineman. Just not good enough at all. And for paying someone $20+ million a year, it's unfortunate. He has 2 sacks. I can't remember. PFF, if you have half a sack, they count it as one. They round up. So that's probably why he might have 2 half sacks or a full sack and a half sack. His pass rush grade hasn't been awful, 61.3. Still, again, nowhere near where you want it to be. But his run defense grade has been really bad. And you got to take it with a grain of salt because it is PFF. But it does kind of match the eye test where he isn't really making a huge impact for the Washington Commanders. And this, very similar thing with Daron Payne, has not had a great year. He has been better, I would say, in the run game than Jon Allen has. So at least you can give him that. But still, Daron Payne, he got paid and really hasn't done anything, which is unfortunate. So his PFF grade is a 64.2. His run defensive grade isn't great. It's better than Allen's by a lot. And then his pass rush grade, 68.3. So overall, a 64.2 PFF grade for Daron Payne. And now the question is, who's going to step up? Is it going to be Pedro Mathis? Is it going to be Jon Newton? Ideally, it is Jon Newton. That is the ideal scenario. But, he's still young. He's a rookie, so you don't know if he's going to step up. Maybe it will be Pedro Mathis. They have some other guys as well that could step in. They have a defensive tackle on the practice squad. I forgot his name, but he has 73 career games at D tackle, so would be very, very surprised if they don't call him up for the season or, promote him to the active roster. That's my opinion. But real quick, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check them out at betus.com. They got a great deal. If you use my code YouTube150, you get 150% sign up deposit on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. It's a really good deal. And you got the MLB playoffs going on, so you can bet on that. You got the NFL still going on tonight. You got the Bills versus New York Jets Monday Night Football. You got WNBA. And then, of course, Week 7 football coming up this week. The Washington Commanders going up against the Carolina Panthers. There's going to be a bunch of props on that. I mean, there already are, and I will be going over some in the next video that I do like for this upcoming game. But make sure you guys check them out. They got the fastest payouts in the industry, and as usual, bet responsibly. All right, and we're back. Make sure you guys check out BetUS. As always, a great partner. Been working with them for this season, but also last season as well. So the defensive tackle I was talking about who has a lot of experience is Sheldon Day, number 64 right now for the Commanders, 6'1", 285, is 30 years old, been in the league for 8 years, played at Notre Dame. Just wanted to talk, let you guys know about that because I did talk about that earlier. I just forgot his name, but that is a guy to watch out for that might get some work with the Commanders. Probably this week will get called up, and depending on how he does, we'll see if the Commanders bring in another defensive tackle or not. That really is going to, he is going to be one of the guys that they look for, and then also Jon Newton and Pedro Mathis. Depending on how those guys do, will determine if they bring in some other help. He has 7 career sacks. I mean, from 2016 to 2021, he was getting about a sack every year. But again, does have a lot of experience playing, and he's a vet. He'll be able to play for us if they really need him to. He'll be the 3rd defensive tackle fourth behind Pedro Mathis, Deron Payne, and Jon Newton. Jon Newton though needs to step up. You look at his stats so far; it's not been impressive at all. Has played in 5 games. His overall PFF grade is 35.9. And again, I don't always take PFF as like the highest word, but when it does, or the law of the land, whatever you want to say, but when it matches the eye test, that's when you're like, okay, this is a little bit concerning, or it's good. Like with Jaden Daniels, you see him play well and the PFF grade is high. Okay, that's great. But with Newton, I haven't really seen him make a lot of plays, and he's been pretty disappointing. His PFF grade this past week was pretty bad, 37.5 on defense, 46 run defense, 30 tackling, 41.8 pass rush, which is the lowest of his season. The tackling was the lowest of his season by a mile, like less than half of his second lowest. And then the run defense was about his average, and then the defense overall was right where his average is. So yeah, it just hasn't been good from Jon Newton. Maybe again, him getting more PT will help that, and get more reps in, maybe more confidence if he starts out as a starter. And Pedro Mathis hasn't been that good either, but he's definitely been better than Jon Newton. But Jon Newton is a rookie, and again, he's coming off an injury, so you can't expect a lot from him starting off right away. But again, now we kind of need him to start balling out a little bit, or at least playing at an even a below average level, because he's playing far below that right now, or far worse than that. So if he can play at a below average level, and maybe by the end of the year he's like an average player, that's good, because again, is coming off a injury from his college season, and then also this off season, and then didn't really get a full training camp at all, didn't play in the preseason, so that does hinder your development. Missed the first game. So, Jon Newton, he's a guy that needs to step up. Pedro Mathis, and then Sheldon Day is that next guy that they'll probably bring in. And they'll probably look this next week or so, maybe work out a couple guys. And if the defensive line isn't that good this week against the Panthers, then I think they might bring in one of those guys that they worked out, or maybe they'll make a trade. But yeah, I don't know what Allen's future here is in Washington. They maybe could have traded him this offseason, but it is what it is. He's still on the books, I believe, for next year. I'll just confirm here just so you guys can see. I believe he's under contract for one more year after this current season. And yeah, it is what it is. Could be his last game that he played for us. Not completely sure there. So yeah, he's going to be under contract for 2025 with a cap hit of $23 million a year. Do you really want that? Do you really want to be paying that to a guy that hasn't really been a game changer since like 2022? But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you stayed till the end, go ahead and comment down below Tim Settle. Yeah, could use a guy like him or John Ridgway, but yeah, comment down below Tim Settle and make sure you guys check out